They banned Sean Keeler from any media access. Who he's a columnist for the Denver Post, and I didn't realize this, and you kind of told me some of the issues that Deion had with Sean and the university, because he was saying some crazy stuff. Mention some of the things you talked about.
He just like a lot of personal attacks, name calling. For example, he called Deion a false prophet.
Wow.
He referenced Deion as
that cuts deep.
Yeah, you a false prophet. He referenced Deion as Planet Prime. He called him the Bruce Lee of BS. Now Bruce Lee is bad man.
Yeah.
You BruceLee of BS. The Deion Kool-Aid. He called him a circus.
Wow.
Those are just a few things that he has
see why I hear things
written
like that
about Deion. But he's a columnist now.
Yeah, but
he's
trying to
paid
come
to
up,
give his opinion.
Yeah, but not his opinion. That's
he's not a reporter.
Yeah.
It's not facts. It's his opinion to get you engaged, to get us doing exactly what we're doing right now.
But he had to come see me when he called me like that, though. I mean,
false prophet.
False prophet. And he said Bruce Lee or BS.
Bruce Lee of BS. Yeah. Yes.
And
this is a circus.
Yeah, that's interesting. So as a result of all this, Deion and as well as the University of Colorado has banned Sean Keeler from any media access, as I said before. I'm not sure where you're on this side. We part of the media, but we go to report on what we see and and what we experience. So it's a fine line between just being banned for something that we said, because we can get banned for a lot of stuff that not a lot of stuff. Some things we may have said on here, but it's not personal, though.
Right. It's a difference when it's just a personal attack, and it seems like that's what he's doing.
If we go to NC State or go to Carolina or go to do for whatever reason, it's not personal. We're just talking about in general, but this is a personal attack. And I'm just curious. So we heard from what Adam Schefter said about it, but right now, and what Deion had to say, but let's hear from two other guys. First is Stephen A. Smith and Shannon Sharp on how Deion has handled this media situation.
I do not agree with how the Colorado program has handled this situation. And quite frankly, I'm a bit disappointed because you have to have thicker skin than that. If you don't want to talk to the reporter, Shannon, don't talk to the reporter. But to have the program putting out a release announcing that we're not going to take questions as a program from this guy is utterly ridiculous.
He's used the phrase false prophet, deposition Deion, Planet Prime,
Forgot that one.
Bruce Lee of BS, Deion Kool-Aid, and circus. That's personal.
Deion Kool-Aid
if you want to talk about my program, if you want to say I'm not doing a good job of coaching, if you want to say that I don't do a good job of disciplining my players, and my players are not disciplined, and they're not playing the game the right way, I can live with that. But when you start to attack me personally, I'm not going to answer your question.
Yeah, and that's my point too.
Right. And I think, I don't think it's not saying that Deion doesn't have tough skin. If the program, if they didn't get behind him, we would have something to say. So they got behind him and said, hey, we're not going to let people do you this way. So I don't agree with Stephen A. Yeah, they supported him. It could have been the other way. But they supported him and standing behind him and saying, hey, we're not going to let this happen. You're not going to bring personal attacks against my coaches.
If he comes in and asks Deion a question, Deion doesn't have to answer the question. The only issue I got with this, though, didn't we just had a situation with somebody from CBS?
Yeah.
So, I mean, that's the only issue I have with how Deion is handling it. Now, I get the fact that guys come in person. I get that. But to the extent that I don't like the question you asked, so I'm not going to answer your question. I'm not going to address you. Right. I'm not going to,
So it was CBS because they had been writing, some negative comments about him, so then he didn't want to talk to the CBS reporter.
But if you're in the spotlight, if you're Coach Prime and you've been on 60 Minutes and people going to come at you. That's part of being who you are. And he should know that. He's been who he is all his life. And he's been ridiculed and he's been praised up and down the line. Right. So I don't quite get his perspective, but Colorado's on the side. Now, let's hear from Paul Feinbaum, who reacts to Deion's media situation. This is interesting, according to Pam. It's interesting. Let's take a listen.
Very interesting.
Coach Prime is showing he is not ready for prime time, Greeny. I find this whole thing to be disgraceful. Deion may want to talk about love and joy, and that's been the cornerstone of what he seems to be spewing out. But treating reporters like this seems like we're in some autocratic country. This is not America, and the fact that it's in his contract is really even more absurd. But don't forget, he did this at Jackson State. This is a trait of Deion Sanders. He wants to have it his way, and I find him to be a bully and a hypocrite. And quite frankly, as someone who has been a fan of his throughout his entire career, even at Colorado, I am mortified by his actions.
Mortified, the word he used.
Wow. He's a bully. It's like Burger King. You have it your way. How do you feel about those statements?
Yeah, that's over the top, I think. I think a couple things. Deion is making Sean Keeler that I didn't know the hell he was. But now I do.
Yeah.
Paul Finebaum, who his position that you just heard has been his position on several topics. He's going to come in hard, coming in hot on everything he talks about. So that's his thing. He's been doing it. I've known him since I grew up. He's writing for the Birmingham Post-Herald. So, I mean, yeah. So he's been coming. He's always been controversial in that kind of way. So I'm not surprised that he came with Deion on that. From that perspective. But I am surprised when you take a step back, though. You can't control. Deion cannot control who he talks to, who doesn't talk to.
You can't control another reporter's narrative.
Right. Exactly. It's a free country. I can ask you any question I want to ask. I can write what I want to write.
You're going to have a locker room of nobody in the press room because everybody's going to come with some type of opinion and some type of question.
But I do agree. This personal stuff, no, I got to come see you. You can come see me. But hey, guys, I mean, you got that's part of the job. And if you got a problem with that, you can't control. This is a free country. Yeah. Now, the one thing I do agree with Paul Finebaum, we're not over in Russia where, okay, you're going to ask me this question.
Right.
That's what, I mean, and matter of fact, I'm going to give you the question you're going to ask me. Anybody else, you can't ask me anything.
Right.
Why? Because I'm going to challenge some of the things you're doing, or I'm going to challenge your program. I don't have to be nice to you.
Right.
Everybody, this is not a hold hands, kumbaya kind of situation. I mean, but this is business, and I'm gonna play my role, and I get that. So I think that should happen. But it's personal stuff now.
Right, and I think part of it is going back to his last year after the first win. It was what do you believe? So now I'm trying to control. Getting the media involved. Do you believe? Do you believe? Yeah. And then now you don't believe, and I don't want to hear that you don't believe. Right.
You got to be on my side, or you got to be in my camp. Or I want to talk to you.
So,
that ain't cool.
Expectations are different now that I'm not winning.
Reese told me all the time, everybody ain't going to love you, bro. So if you think everybody's going to love you, then you need to go somewhere else. Everybody's not going to love you. And I don't know, because he ain't going to talk to the CBS guy. I'm not talking to Sean Keeler because Sean wrote something. Now, that, yeah. This is interesting. This is a fine line to... in terms of whether or not you going to do your job.
Go out there and win.
Right.
That's it.
Right. Yeah, it's unfortunate, though. We're going to hear more about this, I'm sure. We're going to talk more about it in the second hour, but this is a good one. And this, a lot of people will probably come at me on YouTube again. That's fine. Keep on coming at me. But I again, I'm not down with this name calling. I'm with Shannon Sharp on that. Yeah. But I'm also with Stephen A. It's like, Colorado, what are you doing? This is a freak. I mean, the media in this country, as a media rep, we should have opportunity to come in and do what we got to do. Ain't nobody swinging on nobody.
And a year ago, this is what you wanted. Yeah. This is what you asked for.
The program is, nobody knew the hell Colorado Buffalo's prime got there. Prime gets there, it blows up, and he said, do you understand now? Do you feel me now? Do you like me now?
Do you believe?
Do you believe? Now, all of a sudden, we believe.
Tire.
Yep, something wrong. DR Reese, Pantos with the first. We just been started. So let's go, baby. Do you believe?
Was come out, which I completely disagree with with the way Finebaum look at it, right? Well, matter of fact, let's hear from Paul Finebaum and what his statement was.
Coach Prime is showing he is not ready for prime time, Greeny. I find this whole thing to be disgraceful. Deion may want to talk about love and joy, and that's been the cornerstone of what he seems to be spewing out. But treating reporters like this seems like we're in some autocratic country. This is not America, and the fact that it's in his contract is really even more absurd. But don't forget, he did this at Jackson State. This is a trait of Deion Sanders. He wants to have it his way, and I find him to be a bully and a hypocrite. And quite frankly, as someone who has been a fan of his throughout his entire career, even at Colorado, I am mortified by his actions.
So
there we have it.
All right. Do I have to invite you to my house? Like, can I be a believer? Can I be a man of faith? But do I have to invite you to my house?
Are you in terms of inviting the media to
of certain people?
I mean,
do I have to?
I think as a public university, I think you have to do that.
Yes.
I think that's in this contract. That's part of the I guess the culture of those universities where they invite media on. I mean, media has rights, and and if that's why they can't prevent him from coming. They banned him from media access, but they can't stop him from coming on campus. So he can still cover.
He can still come
cover
to the
from
game.
Stands.
Yeah,
he can't come to the press conference, which
Right.
I still think that's weird. But
Well, wait a minute now. You don't you can ban people from the premises.
on what grounds?
Well, it depends on what it is. I mean,
so in this case, it's the personal attack.
yeah, you can ban people. I mean, they can revoke your access. They don't have to let you go to the NC State game.
Oh yeah.
Right.
You know what I mean? So I'm saying they don't have to let you.
No, I agree.
Matter of fact,
campus.
you ain't been there in a minute.
So
I go to state all the time. I don't go to Carolina.
So I'm trying to figure this out. So you saying by them saying they banned him from I guess from access, you okay with that pretty much?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. I mean, I don't have to. I mean, why do I have to let you in my house? You know, see what I'm saying? I mean, you can write whatever you want, but you write it from out there.
Mm-hmm.
You could talk about me all day long, but you're not going to come in my house and put your feet under my table and still talk about me.
But I guess that's the difference. This is a public university I'm talking about, not your own personal space.
Okay.
This is a public university we're talking about. That taxpayers pay money into to have the university exist.
Yeah.
And
Right.
you have to provide access to the media, just like the news cameras showing up with something else going on.
They don't have to let you on premise.
Why?
They don't have to.
I think they do. I think they do.
Mm-hmm.
I think they do.
In this case, he can come on. He just can't come back to the press room.
I get it. I mean, I get the media access versus having access to the university, but
when there's a quote unquote issue happens on campus, you saying they could not. I mean, they can prevent media to come and cover those incidents or incident that happened on campus.
I don't think I don't think you have to let cameras on campus. I think you could restrict access.
Okay.
So do you think this is a bad look? You don't think this is a bad look for Deion or the university to basically, say that this columnist can no longer talk to Deion anybody on the school
they
about
felt
this
like they felt the need. They had to come out and make a statement, right? If you didn't want to share information with him, you didn't want to provide him media credentials, which by the way is nothing new. People right here in the triangle, I know, have denied credentials for people.
Oh yeah.
Oh, absolutely, all the time.
Yeah. They're not required to give you credentials.
Right.
Exactly.
Right.
So that wasn't new. That's not nothing earth-shattering or groundbreaking or anything like that. What I was concerned about, what I'm curious about, why the university felt like they had to come out and make an official statement and say, we as a university are no longer providing you access.
But what's going on with the situation, though? We heard a soundbite last week or a couple weeks ago where he was upset with the guy from CBS.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, the guy from CBS, yep.
Yeah. So,
he didn't want to talk to him because it had nothing to do with that particular reporter. It was because of something else that had happened with CBS.
Right.
So at one point, when you say something to me that I don't like, I'm not sure it's negative or whatever, then I don't want you in my media room because because you goes against something that I don't like, or you said something that I don't agree with you on. I'm not sure.
So how much should I just let you just talk about me?
No.
Or how much should you just want to control the narrative of everybody that comes in the locker room?
Which is fine, but how? But so there's both. So there's
really,
two
that's
sides.
the part I'm talking about.
So there's two sides to it, right? So do I want to have control of it? Yes, right. But then again, so I should just let you say whatever you want to say about me.
Freedom of speech.
That's how, I'm not asking.
Apparently,
well, is that how this works?
I thought it was freedom of speech, but apparently, when you speak and you speaking negative about me, about my program, then I had the option whether I want to speak to you or not. I mean,
I got that kind of power.
Right. But my point is that when things going great, yeah, come on in.
Do you believe?
Do you believe all that?
Do you believe?
Yeah, but when I say something negative, I don't want you in here. I'm not like that.
So would I disagree with you, or I'm mocking you, or I'm going beyond the bounds of what we're talking about? And if I feel like we're doing that, and I feel like you're being disparaging to my record or to my contribution, to my experience, or whatever, do I have to continue indulging you so you can continue to talk about me, and then you can go out and say what you want to, basically spit in my face? So I just got to turn the other cheek.
No,
so I just got to just let you say whatever you want to say to me about me.
But I guess I would argue that, I mean, that happens to coaches all the time. I mean, I think it slides both ways, where the praise and the criticism.
Yeah.
That's fine.
You got to have some tough skin.
It's
Take
fine.
it.
It's fine. You can criticize what we're doing.
All you got to say is I'm not answering that, or I'm not talking about that, sir. That's all you got to say.
But you can criticize what you want on the field, but I don't have to let you attack my personal character.
I just think no, personal character is different.
That's what we're talking about.
You still can't control it. He can still write what he wants to. He just won't be inside of the
exactly.
What did CBS do? They go at his personal character?
Yeah, that was a bad business deal, and they went back on a business deal that they had, and basically he did the story because of a certain reporter, and then once he did the story and gave him the information, they pulled it from the reporter.
No.